England up against Tonga, the final Sunday game of the Rugby World Cup 2019. This one follows Ireland-Scotland, so England are big favourites for this one, so predicted to be more one-sided than that previous game, or maybe on a similar level to the Italians in Namibia, but I guess we'll see. These two teams have not played each other very often. Their rugby history only goes back 2 games, and both games were at Rugby World Cups. 1999, 101 points to 10, I was going to say 7. I think the All Blacks also got a 101-3 result in that World Cup, so they went a few points better, but man, that was a very lopsided one. But then you look only a few years forward, 2007, and it was 36 points to 20, so a relatively close one. Still kind of comfortable in that it's 16 points, but by no means a hiding like 100 points. So I mean, speaking of 100 points, it wasn't that long ago that Tonga were here in New Zealand. I was at that game, the Rugby World Cup warm-up game, and New Zealand put 90 points on Tonga, so that was a bit of a bad look. But you got to think that it only kind of gets easier from here. Even if you're playing England, who are a very difficult team to play, it's at a neutral ground rather than playing New Zealand in New Zealand, which is about as tough as it gets. So, yeah, hopefully the Tongans for this one will lift, and hopefully their warm-ups and whatnot have gone well, so they can at least be competitive in this game and give us something to cheer for. But that being said, England are still pretty big favourites, but I'll get to those kind of odds in a second. I'll put the team lineups in the description so you guys can check them out. I believe it was reported a few days ago that Whakanasiga and Mark Wilson kind of had knee trouble, so the fact that both of those guys are not in the squad, I haven't seen the press conference yet, but the fact that those guys aren't in the squad leads me to believe that was probably true and they haven't recovered. So in terms of the forwards for England, it's Marler, George, and Sinckler, which is a very tidy looking front row. That's a fair bit of class there. How Marler goes up against Ben Tameifuna will be an interesting one at scrum time because Tameifuna is a big unit. Courtney Laws and Maro Itoje is about as athletic as a second row as you'll get. So maybe they're looking to add a bit of mobility there, but you've still got George Kruis on the bench, so we'll see how he goes when he comes on. Curry, Underhill, and Vunipola definitely going to be adding some value at the breakdown. Well, those two guys at 6 and 7, and Vunipola is just that ball-carrying machine, and he will be looking to get his name on the scoreboard at some point, no doubt, especially if that scrum, which has been really good. The English scrum has been dominant in those recent games. If they can get some go forward, then he will be looking to plunder some points from the back of that powerful scrum. Youngs is at 9, which is kind of a foregone conclusion. It's probably going to be him all tournament with Heinz, and maybe they'll swap once or twice. But George Ford continues at 10, so it seems like Eddie is going with Farrell at 12 as perhaps a thing. It's kind of like a blast from the past. They were doing that for so long, and then they stopped doing it, and now they're going back to it. So whether he does that in the big games against France and Argentina will be a question, but either way, he's going Farrell at 12, Ford at 10 for this one. Tuilagi is at 13, I was going to say 11, he's at 13. So again, that guy's been fit and not injured and in good form for quite a while. So that's good news for England rugby and for world rugby in terms of watching some of the best guys play. Jonny May and Anthony Watson are on the wings. Elliot Daly is at fullback. I really want to see Jonny May get a try. I don't know why. I just really like that guy. He's just electric, man. Whenever that guy gets the ball, your heart kind of skips a beat just because he's going to do something magic. Not always, but he's just an excitement kind of machine player. The bench is Cowan-Dickie, Genge, Cole, Kruis, Ludlam. Heinz is the only backup 9 they've got, so he's always going to be there. Slade and Jonathan Joseph. So, yeah, like I said, no Wilson, no Whakanasiga. And they got a quick turnaround. They got the USA on Thursday next week, so they will have to play around with some of their options, maybe give Heinz a start, that kind of thing, for the next one. Tonga have made a few changes from that team that got really beaten badly by the All Blacks. So Tameifuna plays. He didn't play against the All Blacks. Maybe they were giving him a break. Sakalia is in at hooker instead of Miley. Miley plays club rugby here in New Zealand, so that was a big ask for him to make his debut against the All Blacks in New Zealand, and that didn't go that well. So thankfully he's on the bench for this one and gets to kind of perhaps ease his way into it a bit better. Losi and Fafita are 4 and 5. Losi's good. He plays in Super Rugby. We see lots of him, and he is a class player. Kalamafoni, Capelli, and Vaipulu. Capelli comes up from the bench from that game against the All Blacks. Takalua is at 9. He played 9 against the All Blacks as well. He should be familiar to most, I think, Premiership fans. Kurt Marath is there at 10. The veteran, so it's another World Cup for him. Lolohea and Pakalani are on the wings. Pakalani makes his way up from the bench from last week. Vuna moves into the midfield from the wing. He can play kind of many positions in that back line. Siale Piutau, again, another guy familiar probably to Premiership fans. He's the only guy who scored points in terms of a try against the All Blacks, so feel a bit sorry for him in that game, but he's a good player. And Halaifonua is at fullback. So yeah, there's a few guys on the bench with some talent as well. Manu is there. He'll be familiar to Super Rugby fans. Fuka is there. He's familiar for us from, again, Auckland in terms of Mitre 10 Cup and whatnot. So yeah, they've got more time, does Tonga, in terms of their next fixture. It's, I think, Argentina on Saturday. So they can afford to go out full guns blazing and then retain most of that squad for the next game as well. Rugby forecast. The algorithm is predicting England by 29 points. Remember, given that New Zealand put 90 plus on to 7, I think Tonga would be doing pretty well to stay within kind of 30 points. The bookies are thinking it's going to blow out a wee bit more. 44 points is what they're saying for this one. So yeah, it's predicted to be pretty one-sided. Hopefully it's a wee bit closer. You never really like to see those just absolute... I mean, I was at that game where the All Blacks put 90... I can't even remember how many it was. Was it 95 points on Tonga? And it just gets embarrassing, and nobody likes seeing that thing. You want a bit of tension. You want a close game. No injuries. I think will be a big one on England's front especially. But England definitely need to get a bonus point because they are in the pool of death, so every point is going to count. Imagine if 3 teams get 3 wins and a loss, then the bonus points will likely be the deciding factor. So that'll be an objective for them here. You guys let me know your thoughts on the squads. How do you think these two teams are going to go in this game? And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.